Greetings fellow warriors, and Merry Christmas, whether you celebrate Christmas alone or with your loved ones. Welcome back to another Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord update video. So, I was just sitting there with my family, having Christmas dinner, when out of nowhere, Tailwords released a huge, I know I say this way too often, but trust me on this one guys, beta patch for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, which should be worthy of a new playthrough. So, for those of you who waited to try the game again, now's the best time. You all know that I won't go through all the changes or fixes that have been made, only the most important stuff in my opinion, to keep the video short and digestible. Though if you want to see every single change, there will be a link in the description down below, leading to the patch notes. We're almost at 40k warriors, and I want to thank each and every one of you beforehand. I'm thinking of creating like a giveaway to celebrate this milestone, so it would be very epic if you'd hit that subscribe button, if you want to stay up to date regarding the latest Bannerlord news or mods. But other than that, let's dive in to the patch notes. Firstly, the game has received a number of crash fixes, which I won't really go over. But if you experience some crashes in your latest campaign, you should check the patch notes. Maybe it has been fixed now, who knows. Regarding the art direction, Tailwords has added a total of 14 new villages to the game, as well as 26 new battle terrain scenes. At last, we have some new battle maps. Though I didn't expect them to add 26 at once, which is pretty impressive, adding much more variety to the game than what we had beforehand. A new Sturgeon light armor has been added, which looks like this, as well as a new Highland scale over mail armor for the battalions. Shoulder pieces now come in different varieties, as you can see in the footage, to create a more diverse looking loadout, which I do quite like. A new flex plantation and vineyard model has been added for the campaign map, as well as various improvements to villages, missing textures and the autumn mesh of the world. Regarding the UI, some changes have been made to settlement nameplates. Whenever a player gets in the viewing range of a settlement, they can see some new icons right beside the name, indicating the availability of a quest or if a tournament is being held. Previously, you needed a mod to see these things without entering the settlement, and having them added officially is just a nice quality of life change. They removed the need to be in the same party requirement for the character developer. Now you'll be able to grant perks to clan members without moving them to your party. This annoyed me, and I guess many of you, since the release of the game, and I'm very glad that they finally changed it. A new option has been added to the gameplay options, letting the player choose what type of order menu they want. Thank you! As a mainly PC player, I never quite understood why they forced this radial menu onto us without giving us the option to change it back like in previous versions. So it's nice to have the ability to change the order menu how you want it to be. Some variation has been added to the troops types and faces in the map conversation screen. Before, every looter party had this guy as their spokesman. You could say that he was the mans radar of the looters. And now, everyone looks different. Which is a nice change, since this poor fella must have been beaten to death by now. They've added color to equipment in character portraits in the settlement overlay, and used the correct equipment. These overlays will now vary more and be more colorful. Hovering over a hero's health on the party screen now gives detailed information about their health. For example, how much base HP they have and if perks add additional HP points. Players can now copy and paste their weapon designs when crafting, which works just like the copy and paste mechanic in the character editor. Now people can share all their awesome weapons with a simple code. How neat. Now, something that gave me a good chuckle was the fixing of the bug causing lords in map conversations to smirk easily and in illogical situations, such as being wounded, etc. There were many times where my beaten enemy was filled with joy as I laid chains onto his hands and taking him as a prisoner. Regarding battles and sieges, they've now added a new photo mode feature with a plethora of options to tweak and tinker with. For example, changing the focus, increasing or decreasing the exposure, toggling the camera follow mode and much more. I think it's safe to say that the game can be very beautiful at times, especially during the dawn or dusk hours. And we can capture these moments with in-game tools now, without relying on mods, which is a nice addition for any screenshot hunters out there. Target locking is a thing now. You can now lock your camera to an enemy with the middle mouse key by default, similar to the Dark Souls games. Regarding the character development system, new weapon knockdown mechanics have been added to the game. The Show of Strength perk from the two-handed tree and Hard Knock perk from the polearm tree should now work properly and knock your opponent down. They've also added the two-handed arrow deflection mechanic. Now you can deflect arrows with the arrow deflection perk from the two-handed tree while blocking with a two-handed sword. They've added 9 combat-related roguery perks, 1 combat-related stewardship perk, 5 combat-related medicine perks, as well as 6 different perk effects related to prisoner recruitment, which are now available to all NPC lords alongside the player, as well as the missing veterinarian primary effect, which lets you have a 30% chance per day to recover a lame horse. You can now gain roguery experience by taking hostile actions against caravans and villagers, such as forcing them to give you supplies, taking them as prisoners, attacking them, or even when recruiting bandits into your party, which now carries a culture penalty. A new feature called the emissary system has been added to Bannerlord. When a companion or family member is left in a town or castle, the main hero will gain relationship points with nobles and notables in that town or castle with a success chance. This chance increases the charm skill. Additionally, when the companion or the family member gains relation points, they will also gain some experience according to the importance of the hero whose relation was improved as. For example, they gain more experience when the noble is a kingdom leader and less when they are clan leaders. The prisoner recruitment process was completely changed. Now, each imprisoned troop you want to add to your roster requires a certain conformity value, which is generated by the party. This value is based on the troop tier, so that higher tier troops will be more difficult to recruit. You'll gain conformity points by having a high leadership skill level, and NPC lords are now able to recruit prisoners as well. The player now has the ability to marry off clan members. Finally. Regarding kingdoms and diplomacy, Tailwords has added another feature in this patch, rebellions. Now, loyalty and security is affected by many things such as a town being recently captured, starvation, mismatch of ruling clans' culture and settlements' culture, raided villages, governor skill perks, a strong garrison, kingdom policies, etc. If the loyalty value of a town drops below 25, the town starts generating more militia. This militia represents armed and angry peasants of the settlement. Thus, as the loyalty value drops further, less of them will join their defense in case of a siege. Once, the growing militia feels stronger than the garrison, and if the loyalty value is below 15, a rebellion will occur. The new rebellion clan will try to defend themselves while trying to establish their legitimacy. In 30 days' time, they will form a legitimate clan and start initiating diplomacy to join existing kingdoms, and these clans will always be in bad terms with their oppressors. Finally, we have this feature in the game, and it sounds very promising. I haven't had the chance to play this feature properly because of all the festivities going on, but it definitely sounds good on paper and maybe fix some of the snowballing issues in the game. They've also done major work on keeping all kingdoms on the campaign map for a longer time. Now kingdoms make more comebacks, even though they lost several towns. The map is now also more balanced during the late game, and usually all kingdoms have more towns. A new main storyline quest has been implemented to the game, which is called Destroy the Raiders. Also, 2 new conspiracy quests have been added to the game as well. Disrupt the supply lines and conspiracy base of operations, and a new side quest called Village Needs Tools, which should be self-explanatory. And yeah, I guess that's it with this updates rundown. Like I said, these are the most important changes in my opinion, and to keep the video short and digestible, I had to cut some stuff out, which are semi-important. So you should check out the patch notes down below. As always, if you like this video, please hit that like button. And if you like what I do in general, consider subscribing to the channel. That would be pretty epic. Join my Discord server where you can talk with me and other like-minded people about all kinds of stuff. And stay tuned for the upcoming giveaway at 40k. This will be my last video of this year, so I see you all in the next year. Happy holidays, warriors, and bye.